you'll notice that if somebody else is talking about themselves, that the situation they're experiencing is different than the situation that you've been experiencing, which um, would cause some people to be rather puzzled as to why would I be listening to somebody else talk about something they're dealing with when I'm concerned about what I'm dealing with. Um, but I would suggest to you that what what we're thinking through this lens is that what's actually causing the experience that people are having is the something going on in the way that the mind of the person experiencing it is processing. Our minds process information, our minds create information, process information, and do it in a much more advanced way than the minds of other creatures, much more advanced, and yet I would suggest um, quite a bit more dysfunctional. That with all of these improvements came lots of dysfunction, lots of problems, and of course, those advances made it possible for us to um, do some things that deers can't do. Like deers didn't build London. Um, of course, um, deers didn't build countries, but they also don't seem to be bombing them. Um, so with these advances seem to come some advantages and yet some certainly some problems. Um, for other creatures, anger is an emotional and a physiological response to a particular kind of environmental threat. At the moment, the threat at the moment, it's the kind of threat that would be best addressed by charging forward and biting hard. Um, hey, one day monkey saw another monkey trying to monkey around with his monkey. Monkey didn't like that so much. And so what he did is he bit that other monkey. And because he was angry, he bit that other monkey harder than he could have otherwise bitten the other monkey. The other monkey beat it out of town. So monkey peeled the banana. And as monkey is biting into this banana, you may ask him, hey, monkey, what do you think about that other monkey? Messing around with your monkey like right in front of you. And monkey, if he could talk, might say, what monkey? You see, for monkey, if it's not happening, it's not happening. What a concept that is, huh? So anger, an emotional physiological response to perceived threat that enables the creature to do one thing better, which is to lunge forward and bite hard. It's very useful in strengthening the jaw. You'll notice if somebody is angry at you, it's likely that his face becomes red because his mind is getting his jaw really strong. Um, Dentists are treating so many people for what's called bruxism, which is about grinding the teeth. Um, and so if the teeth are like grinding down, I think they're sort of built to be grinding down on someone else's flesh. Um, I'm not so sure zebras have bruxism, um, but you wouldn't want to make a zebra angry because he'll certainly be happy to bite you. In fact, there are quite a few lions that have been killed by zebras. There's not a lot of press about that, but from what I understand, that's the case. A lot of zookeepers too. So zebras are pretty good at killing zebras. I'm sorry, zebras are good at killing lions and zookeepers. And they do it, largely by biting. Anger is an emotional physiological response to perceived threat that gets your jaw strong. So if somebody is coming at your friend with a knife, I don't think you would say, I feel resentful. This guy looks like he's trying to kill my daughter. That makes me resentful. That would be the wrong word, wouldn't it? It might make you enraged. It wouldn't make you resentful. So what's resentment mean? Resentment seems to be anger going on when the thing isn't happening. If the thing is happening, then it's anger, even rage. But resentment isn't going on when it's happening, it's going on because it did happen. If anger is an emotional physiological response to perceived threat, enabling one to be able to bite harder, well, when this gets strong, what gets weak? One thing that gets weak is logic. Another thing that gets weak is reason. Another thing that gets weak um, is creativity. Another thing that gets weak is the ability to persuade others. I can't think of too many situations that would be disturbing situations that you'll handle better if you don't have access to logic, reason, creativity, where you're not easily seeing possibilities, where you're not so good at thinking strategically. So I would suggest that most likely, if somebody's angry at the moment, it's probably not useful to them. But resentment would be still more useless because it would be somebody being angry about something that isn't even happening. Um, so why would the mind body cause a feeling like anger about something that isn't even going on? Well, I think it's because mind didn't get the bulletin that it isn't going on. And also, our human minds, unlike the minds of monkeys, seem to attach meaning to things. And so it can seem to people like the thing is going on. And if they don't feel like the thing is going on, it can feel like the meaning that the mind is attached to the thing is going on. And so when I meet with large groups of people, I'll often ask the question, how many of you would be able to think about anything that could cause you to feel resentful? And the vast majority of people have their hands up. Isn't that something? Um, the vast majority of people might not might not all acknowledge it, but I'm certain the vast majority of people can feel resentful if they bring something to mind. But what if it's not being brought to mind? Then is there still resentment? And I think the answer is not as much. But if you can think of something and feel resentful, it's playing in the background even when you're not thinking of it. I learned that from a friend of mine who knows a lot about technology, and he was visiting with me one day, and I said, "How do they get these big, giant screen, flat screen televisions to turn on like instantly?" And he said, "Well, the reason we get your television to turn on instantly is because it wasn't actually off." And I said to him, you're kind of stupid." He's very patient with me. He said, "Well, what is it that's making you think I'm stupid today?" And I said, "Because you don't even know that the television is off, and it's absolutely certain that it's off. I can prove it." And he said, "Go ahead and prove it to me." I said, "You see that red light coming from it?" He said, "Uh huh." I said, "That red light means it's off."